Okay, so I actually went a little over the 10 minutes, which is fine. Because again, it's bread, I don't care. And she's still holding up. She has, I mean, she relaxed a little bit. She's not as perfectly round as she was. But nonetheless, she held her shape. That's a really good sign. So now it's just a matter of her final shaping and then drop her here into the basket, which if you saw in the last video, I've already dusted with flour. I am going to dust her with flour as well. I'm going to turn on my faucet here because I got to touch her again and she's sticky. Or not, well, sorry, she's tacky. So I sprinkle a little flour on her. This is just to keep her, like I said, from sticking to the towel. If she sticks to the towel, then I didn't do something right, actually. And the reason that I use rice flour is because it won't soak into the dough, so it won't mess up my hydration percentage. I'm gonna use the dough scraper because she is still on the counter. Flip her over, stretch her out a little bit, just a little. We're not trying to laminate her. This is going from a pre-shape to a shape. I'm going to turn her this way because she is a little more elongated than she is round. So I'm going to pull out a little bit. I'm going to fold this over and I'll fold this side over. And then I'm going to just roll her up. I'm stretching her a little bit as I roll her. Look at all them bubbles. She is raring to go, I'm telling you. I don't want too wet hands. There. And once we get her up, now, I'm not trying to make her round. So what you see I'm doing is I'm keeping her a bit short. Okay, I don't want her fully round, but I don't want her, you know, longer than my basket either. I'm not trying to make a sandwich loaf out of her, but I'm also not trying to, there we go. So, pinch the sides, flip her upside down, seal the bottom seam. I usually just do it like this. Any part that can stretch over, just to seal it up. And then squish her up a little more. See her surface tension? Drop her in the basket. If she starts to open up inside the basket, there we go, then just pinch it closed, just like that, all the way across. Remember that this is the bottom of the loaf, so it doesn't have to be beautiful, but she is stitched closed. And then we're going to just put just a tiny bit more of the rice flour on her. And this will, when I flip it over tomorrow, in a couple hours to put it in the pan, that rice flour will come off. So, and then just cover her with her towel. And I'm gonna put her in the refrigerator for 2 hours. And then we're going to preheat the oven. No, I do not preheat her pan because it is a an enamel coated steel roaster. So this is what I use. It's just a baby roaster. It's Mama's still in the pantry, but as you see, it's about the same size as the basket, so that tells you it's not very big, but it is deep because it's a standard roaster. So that's what allowed her sister to get so much height, was the height of my roaster. Now, because she is still smaller than the roaster pan, as you can see, I don't want her this big. She's just going to be like right here. I use parchment paper. So, oh, that's what I forgot to do too. I forgot to put her towels in so she doesn't spread sideways. So, let me put her towels in here, and I'll show you what I mean by her towels in the basket to hold her from spreading out sideways too much. I want her to stay, when she goes into cold proof, pretty much even. So there's her towels. She gets one on each side, like that. And then if you see, that allows her not to spread sideways, because regardless of what anybody says, it's going to spread a little. It's still a little warm. So you see, it doesn't spread too much this way, but it does want to spread this way when you have a basket this wide. So I just use the towels, and then just like that on both sides, and then I cover her up, and she goes in the refrigerator. Right down there under her mom. There's her mom. And I do that same thing that I did with the towels with the roaster pan, so that she doesn't spread in here either. She stays semi what size I want her, and then that will cause her to go up instead of out. So that is that. So we're gonna let her cold proof for 2 hours. That's gonna calm her down. And then, like I said, we're gonna preheat the oven to 480 degrees. I know you see a lot of people online who say, you know, do your bread for 25 minutes at 480 and then drop the temperature down to 450 and continue baking for another 25 minutes. I don't do that, guys. You do you. I literally just, it's 480 until it reaches 200, at least 200 degrees. Most of the time it hits about 205, and I don't want it much darker than that. And a lot of times, like her sister, I didn't even take the lid off, because when I took the lid off to check on it, it was already starting to brown really well, and I didn't want that dark crust that I normally get. So I just left the lid on the entire time for all 45 minutes of baking is what it took to get it to temperature. I did it all with the lid still on. I do put ice in this because it is enamel coated stainless steel. And if I use my cast iron, I also put the ice cube in the bottom of that, but I have Lodge. So I do not recommend, okay, I shouldn't say I don't recommend. I should say I cannot speak for any other brand of cast iron, whether it can handle the thermal shock of one little ice cube or 2 little ice cubes or not. I can tell you that my Lodge, this has a lid. This is what they call a 10.5-inch skillet, but see how deep it is? It's not a standard skillet like you think. It has a lid, a domed lid, but the problem is notice it's not as tall as this, and then its lid is only like this. So what happens is one of the loaves that I made in this actually rose and hit the ceiling, and it couldn't go any further. So my husband's gonna get me the double Dutch oven eventually. I don't need it right now. I have a hard time spending money right now. Not that we can't. I don't know. There's something about it. Spending it when I don't need it. I have things here that I can use. But Lodge will handle the 2 ice cubes. I got my hands are doughy, dry dough, and it's getting all over my cast iron. But this will absolutely handle ice cubes. Do not crack your cast iron and come back and say, but Pamela said, because Pamela's telling you what Pamela does in her own kitchen. She doesn't care about the risks. If I break my cast iron, Lodge will replace it. It's all good. And obviously I can't break this. So you do what you feel comfortable doing in your kitchen. If you don't want to use the ice cubes, if you have a spray bottle, or if you don't have a spray bottle, that's fine. Use your fingers. Wet your fingers and flick the top of the dough. Get it semi-wet. I mean, semi-wet. Because you want that steam, right? So when you put the lid on, it steams. Then it causes that oven spring and and then you have beautiful tall loaf like her sister. Hopefully we do that again. And if so, then you guys will see the entire process that I did to get her to do that. So I'll see you in a couple hours when she's done cold fermenting. Cold proofing. We're just gonna say that. Cold proofing. All right, I'll see you later.